everyone, so this is going to be a bit of a longer video, but I wanted to do a 1-month suit break-in update and let you know how it's going with my new suit, and then just also talk about like some of the suits I've had in the past, my experience, and also kind of dive into the relationship between my back injury and the suits I've had. So let's get started. If you didn't know, I got a brand new high-tech suit using their new material. And not a lot of people have this yet, so I was excited to try the new material, see how it breaks in. Of course, 1 month doesn't tell you everything about how it breaks in, but so far it's been really good. The first 3 days, I would say my positions were a little high, held up by a new suit. But after the first 3 days, things kind of settled a little bit. I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible, but it's very difficult to keep it clean. Obviously, that's the white suits are kind of trending right now, and that is a big problem with them, is trying to keep them clean. If you would like another suit update that's in a year, let me know, because I'd love to talk about how it breaks in more. So I've gotten a lot of questions of why I went back to a high-tech suit, and I would like to talk about kind of my suit journey in the past few years. And I feel like the landscape around shooting suits is changing a lot right now. In the last 3 years, we've had some brands kind of rise up, some fall, a lot of changes kind of on the international market. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk through that. I do want to preface this by saying I'm not trying to give advice. I'm not trying to say this is everything. This is my experience, and my experience, of course, is unique to me. So not saying you guys will have the same experience, but I did want to be kind of transparent about how it's been for the last few years. In college, I shot a Hi-Tex. It was not the E-Motion one, it was a different model, and I shot that in the Olympics and 4 years of college, and it was great suit, but by the end of college, it was 4 years old and, maybe a little snug in some places. So when I graduated college, the first thing I did was get a new suit. I went over to the Hi-Tex factory and I got the E-Motion custom fit. So this was my first time trying this model, and I loved it. So this suit right here is the one I got, and at the time, I had people coming up and saying Ginny, that is the best fitting suit in the US. So fit really well. Some of the things I loved about it were this, this is the right shoulder here. And so this is kind of like a spandexy material. So I felt like I could really wrap my shoulders around and get into positions. So I shot this suit for about 1.5 years. Of course, during that time, the world shut down for COVID. And actually, I ended up losing a little bit of weight. So I ended up losing, 10, 15 pounds. And the end result was that my suit no longer fit anymore. It was too big. So at this time, almost everyone on the international scene has a Capoppy. Of course, the downside with a lot of the suits that are made in Europe is that they are smaller factories, and so they come in a little slower, they take more time. So I knew I could get a Capoppy suit faster. Everyone was raving about them, so I thought, okay, well, this one doesn't fit anymore. Let's try it out, see what happens. Now's the time. I ended up getting this Capoppy suit, which I shot for about 1 year. When I first put it on, if you've tried a Capoppy, you know exactly how stiff it is. So when I first put it on, very stiff. My positions are very high, of course, which is completely normal. And then kind of as it broke in, I feel like this material is kind of like quicksand. So it kind of, when it warms up and it fits to your body, you're almost if you need to move or change anything, you're fighting against it. So what I've found with this material, and I think a lot of other people have found this, is that your hold gets better. Obviously, that's very attractive to have a better hold. But the other thing I've found is if it's not fit perfectly, if it doesn't perfectly match into your positions, that you're fighting against it because the suit is so stiff. So this one I did not get factory fit, but I did get it adjusted. You can see here, this is a special modification. I got adjusted at a World Cup to try to help it fit me better. And this whole time I'm shooting it, I'm shooting well, I'm shooting good scores, but I don't feel like my positions are authentic to me. So about 1 year after getting this suit in November, I was getting ready for a match, and we were in the practice days before the match, and I bent over because I dropped my pen. I was journaling, I dropped my pen, I bent over to pick it up, and it was immediate pain. So not good, back injury. We went later, got an MRI, and basically found that I had a bulging disc. If you've ever had a bulging disc, you know that is not a fun one. So with bulging discs, what happens is you kind of have like two nerves that go alongside your spine and you have all these discs, right? So for me, what happens is like it moves a little, it moves a little, it moves a little, but it's not touching that nerve, so you're not in any pain or anything. And then all of a sudden, boom, the incident happens, dropping your pen, right? Or sneezing or putting a sock on or whatever it is. All of a sudden you're in a ton of pain, right? This nerve is super inflamed, you're in a lot of pain, the disc is touching the nerve. Injuries are oftentimes multifaceted. It's not typically one thing when it comes to an overuse injury like this. So it's not like it's, you know, just bending over to pick up my pen. It's bending over to pick up my pen, plus a little bit of genetics probably, plus what we found out later was my suit. So because these Kapapi suits are so stiff, I felt like I was pushing with my hips and my shoulders, like I was pushing against them and trying to fight to kind of get into my authentic position, which is how I wanted to be shooting, of course, and fighting against that like quicksand-like material was slowly moving that disc over. So we did a lot of things to try to make the suit fit better. As you can see, there are some holes cut in it, which obviously isn't fun to do because you don't want to ruin such a pretty suit. So when I put this suit on, as you can see, when I go back into position, all of this blue right here, that shouldn't be there. That's my shirt, right? So that's how much the suit is kind of opening up, how tight the shoulders were. And we kind of confirmed that the suit was a huge part of the issue because, you know, I would shoot standing and then I would try on a different suit, or I would try on even just the different jacket, and my back pain would be less. Of course, it wasn't gone at that point because now I have a bulging disc, right? Since December, I was shooting with the old Hi-Tech suit, which was too big, and also with the old material, it does get a little flimsy fast. And then the Kapapi pants, which again, had holes in them to try to make them fit me a little bit better and allow me to get into my more authentic positions. So that was not the most ideal situation, which is why I flew over to the Czech Republic to get a custom suit by Hi-Tech. So I knew I wanted to go back to Hi-Tech to that design because I felt like it could let me get into my positions better. I also knew with this back injury that I wanted to go get it custom made because I needed the support. I needed it to fit perfectly kind of where my back arches to make sure that I was able to get in position, be supported, and, you know, be the next step in recovery. So I think what astounded me most was kind of comparing these suits hand to hand. So as you can see, this is the back of the Kapapi suit. It is straight. It is literally like a plank. And again, this wasn't fit in factory, but I did have it specifically tailored to me, so it should not be fitting like that. This one, as you can you see that curve? That is where it comes into my back to support. The pants are built the same way. They kind of go into my back to support it, which has been really monumental to help me. So all of this white fabric on here, as you can see, is the brand new material that Hi-Tech launched. So Hi-Tech and Sauer both launched these new materials recently, and they're stiffer than the old materials. They are way stiffer than the old materials, but they don't fit in that quicksand way like Kapapi. Now, some people want that quicksand way where it's almost like resisting you. Personally, I'm not at the point in my career where I want that. So since this material is stiffer than any material on the market prior to like 5 years ago, this has kind of some of the same like hold stabilizing effect, which I think is good. So truly the difference between Sauer and Hi-Tech in my mind comes down to the cut because the materials are very stiff. Personally, I like this cut that has kind of the spandex shoulders that can help you to kind of get into, especially to the prone and kneeling positions. Unfortunately, the narrative behind back injury, especially with female rifle shooters, is it's career ending. When this all happened to me, of course I didn't want it to end my career, and it's not going to. So I wanted to really come up with the reason why. You know, could I put my finger on why? Could I do everything possible to help that? So obviously getting the new suit was part of it. I've been doing lots of PT. I had 2 months off of standing. You know, I did get a steroid injection in my back, so I've been doing all of the things necessary, and I am so happy because now I can shoot standing. You know, I'm not quite at full volume and endurance yet, but we can shoot standing without pain, and that is amazing. And for me, this suit's been a part of that. I know a ton of shooters who have had success with every single suit brand on the market. So I don't think it's about what suit's better. I think it's about what suit is best for you, for your positions and how they're built, for your comfort level, etc. So here's one last kind of 360 view of how the suit fits. And if you have any other questions about any of the different brands, about my personal experience with injury, about how I feel it's breaking in, anything, please let me know.